What will you see when you encounter the UMBC campus and experience its programs? One thing you will see is paved footpaths across the grounds and among the buildings. You might view them simply as walkways. But what if we told you that they are more than walkways? That the first students who attended UMBC created these paths by choosing how they walked between buildings and across campus. Architects didn't decide where these walkways would go. UMBC students did, with their feet. The paving came later. If you're new to this community, it might be easy to assume that everything you will see is finished, and always has been exactly like it is now. But in fact, UMBC is ever-changing. It is built every day by the members of this community, faculty, staff, and students. Every space and every tradition at UMBC has a story. And many of these stories include students as founders, creators, advocates, people who had a vision and saw it through. There isn't always a plaque to mark the spot where students made an important contribution. But the stories of those contributions are incredibly important. They tell you how and why initiatives, programs, and spaces exist in the way they do, and reveal a lot about what makes UMBC special and what it means to be a student here. So here are some stories to inspire you to leave your mark and become an active participant in co-creating UMBC. In his first year at UMBC, in 2004 to 2005, Thomas LeCastro said, "We should light an enormous fire and invite everyone to watch." He spent most of his first year gradually building support for the idea, which involved working with students and with staff from numerous campus offices, none of whom started out eager to build a big fire. But he was persistent, and he followed through. He had the privilege of lighting the very first homecoming bonfire the following year. It was very small, and it burned out before the sun even set. But we got better at building bonfires. Now they're really big and impressive. The event has become an annual homecoming tradition, and Thomas has yet to miss one. The garden started as the dream of Jack Newmeyer, Juliana Brightman, Kelsey Donlin, Andres Camacho, and other students who wanted to create a community garden on campus that would serve as a catalyst for change, empowerment, wellness, and sustainability. They envisioned student organizations claiming plots and having their members get together to work on them. They imagined classes and research projects taking place there too. However, a community garden wasn't in UMBC's plans, and an earlier attempt to establish a garden had been unsuccessful. So the students had conversations with people to get them excited about their vision, and helped everyone see the value of what they had in mind. They won a grant from the Student Government Association to get the project started.
So the garden, on one level we have a lot of people who are building. They're kind of creating their campus physically, so we're at UMBC. And we have a Burmese refugee family here that's come in from a nonprofit that we're partnered with. We have students, we have staff, we have faculty, and there are people who very concretely are growing food on their campus, physically creating the structures around that. But really, the point of the project is to enable people to see their campus as something that they create in the most abstract sense.
Now, anyone in the UMBC community can apply for a garden plot. That's one of the beautiful things about the garden. It is always unfinished, and anyone within the UMBC community can contribute to it. When Devereaux Smith took a class on social change in fall 2015, Food insecurity among college students had not yet been recognized as a problem in the way it is now. But Devereaux's experiences told him that there were UMBC students going hungry, and he and his classmates wanted to do something about it. Devereaux reached out to UMBC administrators and faculty members for help, and together they assembled the resources they would need, including food donations. They started out distributing food from the back of a truck in a parking lot, but eventually established a food pantry in UMBC's Sherman Hall. They launched Retriever Essentials, which provides food and toiletry items to members of the UMBC community in need, free of charge. The operation is managed and staffed primarily by students, working with a campus advisory committee. In spring 2017, 16 students took a class on creative problem solving that inspired them to look for innovative ways to bridge the gap between UMBC and its surrounding communities. People in neighboring Arbutus spoke of the need for more spaces for cultural and community engagement. After a lot of brainstorming, the students decided to start up a coffee shop to bring people from UMBC and Arbutus together. Two of the students, Deep Patel and Michael Berardi, spent the next 2 years leading the effort to plan and reach out to campus and community partners. They were able to secure a space and the support they needed, and the coffee shop, called Oka Mocha, the OCA stands for Opportunities for Community Alliances, opened in Arbutus in November 2019.
I couldn't be happier to see everybody here today. This project has been in the making for the past 2.5 years, and dozens of minds and hundreds of hands have touched this project, and it's truly been incredible. We could not do it without every single person in this room today, and I feel like I'm gonna cry seeing this. This is really coming together, seriously.
Oka Mocha features a large meeting room full of whiteboards that is already used by local organizations and faculty, staff, and student groups. The stage features musical performances and open mic nights, and the walls are lined with a mix of work by local and student artists. "10 years ago, UMBC Student Government Association President Yasmin Karamian learned about a program at another institution that supported students when a modest financial need interfered with their ability to stay in school. She knew there were UMBC students facing the same challenge, so she organized a team to explore setting up a program here. There were challenges to overcome and fun stories, but through the persistence of student leaders with help from UMBC staff members, they were able to get the Stay Black and Gold Emergency Fund started and provide support to students who needed it. When the COVID-19 pandemic started, and there were suddenly many more students without jobs and facing unexpected needs, the UMBC community stepped up. Donations to the Stay Black and Gold Emergency Fund surged, and UMBC students were able to get help paying for rent, utilities, transportation, food, medical care, and childcare. What will your story be? How will you co-create UMBC?